everyone, and welcome back to Riding with Ron. And today we're talking about going off-roading. You know what, the weather's been getting slightly warmer, but it's still raining a lot, and it's very crummy out. And it's really kind of good weather to go off-roading in. I mean, there's lots of mud, lots of puddles to splash through, get your truck, Jeep, utility vehicle all dirty and stuff. And maybe this is something you want to get into. Something you know, that you're interested in, and you're kind of wondering where to start and where to begin, and what kind of upgrades you would want to do to any type of vehicle that maybe you would want to take off-road. Now, first and foremost, when you're looking into going off-roading or any kind of mudding, for instance, you definitely want to make sure that your vehicle is equipped with some type of four-wheel drive system. Whether it be, you know, manual locking hubs, electronic, or all-wheel drive, you know, definitely having some type of four-wheel drive system is going to put you at a much bigger advantage than you know, a two-wheel drive vehicle. Especially when you're talking about trucks and SUVs and stuff. You know, they're a lot heavier, they're a lot bigger, so it's a lot more weight to move around. So you definitely want to make sure, you know, you're not going to end up stuck every 10-15 feet. Make sure you got something with all-wheel drive or 4x4. Now, to make that system effective on any type of truck, I know a lot of guys are like, oh, you know, I want to get the lift kit right away and blah, blah, blah. Look, all that stuff's fine and dandy. But mudding is no different than any other motorsport. There are specific tires for the job. Doesn't matter if you're going out going drag racing, there's drag radial tires, specifically for drag racing. There's street legal tires for drag racing, even that are, you know, barely meet DOT standards as far as tread goes. And there's, you know, there's different types of tires for different types of situations. And so, you know, if you're looking into going mudding, you definitely want to get some all-terrain tires. You know, something that's very knobby, that's got a lot of gaps in the tread to really dig into the dirt, mud, gravel, sand, snow, what have you. A good set of tires is way more important than how high of a lift you have. You know, a little extra ground clearance is good, and I would definitely recommend looking into getting a lift kit, but you know, it's not a necessity, I should say. And you also have to remember, when you're lifting any type of vehicle, you're raising up the center of gravity, so you kind of make it a little more top heavy than it already is, and it has a little bit more of a tendency to roll. So definitely something to keep in mind. But like I said, tires are a huge thing. Make sure you have a good set of all-terrain tires and a spare, just in case, because you never know what's going to happen, you know, out on the trails or hills or whatever field you're going through. Make sure you have a spare tire. And also some way of changing that tire as well. Some type of jack, you know, if you can afford it, an electric impact wrench is awesome. But, you know, just something that you can change out your tires, and even, you know, like the small air pumps. It's always really good to be prepared when you're going out to do any kind of extreme, you know, driving. So having a little toolkit on hand when going off-road, you know, because you never know what you're going to break, and you never know what's going to go wrong. Maybe everything goes perfectly fine, and you just, you know, you go through the mud and all that stuff, and you're fine. But, you know, definitely, you know, make sure you're prepared to be out there on the trails and stuff like that. So my number one thing would be a good set of tires. My number two thing would be definitely, you know, like some type of preparedness kit. Yeah, everything from a jack and a way to change out your tire to an air pump, a small set of tools, and you know, there's a vehicle rollover, anything could go wrong, and you're out in the woods, and it's going to be really hard for any type of emergency vehicle to get out there. So definitely things to keep in mind. Now, to go along with, you know, being prepared and making sure you don't get stuck, a winch is if you've got money to spend a little bit on your off-road setup, investing in a winch is, I'm sorry, it's fucking priceless. When you're out there and you get stuck, you can tie yourself off to a tree and winch yourself out. Your buddy's stuck, you don't got to worry about trying to pull him. You know, with your own truck, you just hook it up to a winch and pull it out of there. A winch is a huge plus if you're going off-roading. So that's my top three things. Now, From there, you can kind of get picky and choosy as far as which way to go. Lift kits are good because they give you more ground clearance. Okay, your truck gets higher up, and therefore you can go over bigger rocks and bigger bumps and things like that. You can go through deeper water. So a lift kit's always good. It's not necessarily a necessity, as most Jeeps and trucks and utility vehicles are made to go off-road and made to have that extra ground clearance. But it does help. It does give you a little more range as far as what you're going over and where you're going. So definitely a good thing to look into. They also have skid plates. Now, what skid plates are, they're basically like armor for the underneath side of your vehicle. Obviously, you're going through all kinds of dirt and crud and over rocks and shit like that. It's very possible for something to jump up and hit that a branch or a tree, or if you bottom out on something, instead of that hitting some kind of vital part in your drivetrain system, having those skid plates there is really good. You can get them to just straight protect the underside of the vehicle. They make them specifically for certain vehicles, so they'll make them to cover over like the differentials and things like that. And so you definitely want to look into a good set of skid plates. And really, that's going to more depend on where you off-road as far as those coming into play. But in my opinion, it's better to be safe than sorry. Because it doesn't matter how decent of a toolkit you have out there, you're not going to be replacing an entire drive shaft or something, or some wiring gets pulled out because it got hooked on a branch or something. I mean, that's really a good thing. Also, going along the lines of protecting your off-roading setup there, they make these things called a snorkel, and it basically works for your engine the way a snorkel would work for you. It puts the air intake up above the roof here. A lot of them will run up the A-pillars, and it'll come out the side, and it's just a sealed air tube that goes all the way up that allows your engine to breathe even while it's fully submerged in water. Now, if you plan on going in deep water where a snorkel will be any kind of use to you, you want to make sure you go over your engine bay and make sure that all your wiring is nice and tight and sealed up. You don't want any rips or anything like that, any cracks in the connector plugs and things like that. Definitely a good, it's very easy to do. You just look over everything, clean it all up, wrap it in some electrical tape and things like that, and just make sure it's a little more waterproof than what you would normally get out of your engine. Now, most engines will be totally fine as long as they can breathe. You shouldn't have any problem going through deep water and things like that. But like I said, you never know, especially if you're getting some type of used vehicle or something that's got a lot of miles on it. Just to, go over the wiring and double check it. So I mean, when it comes down to off-roading, it can definitely be a lot of fun. It definitely pays to be prepared for any type of situation, and it definitely pays to have a really good set of tires. So that'll be my start off-roading. Rather than just spending all your money on lifting your truck up, 10 feet extra in the air, spend your money on a good set of tires and on a winch and on some stuff to protect, the underside of the truck. And I think you'll get a lot more use out of your off-road vehicle than just by lifting it up. Now, don't get me wrong, a lift kit's a very good thing. But there's a lot of other things that you can do besides just lifting it up. And so hopefully this video has helped you, maybe put you on the right path or direction. So why don't you let me know in the comment section down below, guys. And I'm Rob telling you guys to enjoy the drive.